All right, guys, what's up? Today I got a great exercise for you that I just have termed the Rich Brown exercise. And I call it the Rich Brown exercise just because I got the idea from Rich Brown. And if you're not watching Rich Brown videos, then I don't know what you're doing on YouTube. You should get into it right away. Rich is awesome. He's got great freaking ideas and great for beginners, and he's an amazing player. So, but the concept or the exercise, if you will, what he was doing was ascending, right? So we're taking, like, he would take a major scale and ascend the seventh chord, meaning we're taking every other note out of the scale, which creates a major seventh chord, because we got our root, our major third, our fifth, and our major seventh. And then we just descend from the octave using the scale tones. Really simple, right? So if we were doing, and then you've got a nice sort of rhythmic practice as well, because you're doing your quarter notes here, then eighth notes going down, okay? So, and I don't know if Rich made this exercise up, but I love it. So that's what I call it. So then you can take this with all the modes, with all the chords within the major scale, or any scale for that matter. So what we're going to do today is a dominant 7 chord, and which would then turn into the Mixolydian scale, the 5th degree of a major scale. So if you're kind of newish to this, here's what I recommend you do to start this practice. First, get what I consider the first shape, or the box shape, which is just a span of 4 frets, right? You can do the entire scale in that a span, right? So if we do, say, we do C dominant 7. I'm going to play the root with my second finger, the third with my first finger, the fifth with my pinky, and then the flat 7 with my first finger again. Then I'm going to play from the octave descending, right? All the notes that make up the Mixolydian mode, which is the 5th degree of F major. If that helps, right? If that helps you think about it. But it's from C, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay, you can also do this on the 8th fret. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay, and if you really, good idea to play it all the way up an octave, okay? So that's what I call the first position, okay? Now the next part is playing the major third by sliding. Yeah, so I'm sliding up to the major third, playing the root with my first finger, playing the flat 7 with my pinky. Now, there's a bunch of ways to do this, right? But I'm going to play the octave with my first finger, and then essentially descend the way I came, the way I ascended. Okay, but there's also sliding down to the 4, right? And I mean, really, there's tons of ways that we could do this, because I could go basically sliding myself back into that first position. So this would be your second position, if you will, or second shape, right? Because I'm still playing the root here. And then obviously I can do it from the 8th fret. The next part here, though, is almost the same. I call it the 2-string method, where I'm basically able to slide up to the octave, right? And then ascend. So this is super helpful if I want to start it. Let's say I want to play up here, right on the D string. Okay, now I'm running out of strings. I can't play the octave unless you got a 6-string bass. So I can slide from that, from the G string there, right? So, okay, so that would be, I would call, the third shape. Now, you can also play, right, root with the pinky, play the second with your third finger, play the 5th with your first finger. Yeah, it's another kind of boxy shape, but we're starting the root with our pinky, and then shape I don't use a lot, but it's super helpful when you're working throughout the whole fretboard. So this is the concept. This is the exercise, right? Get this down in timing, and then we can have more fun with the rhythm part of it and create some more baseline sounding ideas. Okay, so now if you're feeling pretty comfortable with that, the next thing that I like to do is add a little more fun to the practice musicality. Again, I recommend the metronome or drum machine so you're really staying honest with your rhythm. But what I'm going to do is just start syncopating my descending scale tone. And I'm going to try to not cheat and add like passing tones or anything, just stay in the scale tone. This will be kind of important later when we do this with chord progression. So I'll do maybe another video and kind of show it with like using different chord progressions to start sparking different ideas for your bass lines. But what we'll do here, right, we'll stay with the C dominant 7 here. We got our 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but when we descend, we'll syncopate this 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4 and a. So I'm getting a little 16th note syncopation before resolving. I'm going from the 2 to 5 to 1. So I can start messing around with, any of the scale tones, trying to keep that rhythmic concept in there. So I'm going 1 to 4 there. I'm going from C to F, okay? Couldn't help myself. But anyways, so start adding these ideas, right, to your practice, but try to stay disciplined with the exercise, right? So it might not be necessarily the musical decisions that you would want to make, but if you sort of put yourself in a box sometimes and decide, okay, I'm gonna play this chord or play these chord progressions, and I'm gonna try to make it musical, but I'm gonna try to stay within the parameters of a certain exercise, so that it forces you out of what you might already do, right? Or some of your your own ideas, which aren't bad, but it just will help you expand and take this and go, oh, okay, there's something new for me there to practice. And it's just another way of hearing the same stuff and giving you different ideas. So just add that, if you can, to your practicing of this exercise, what I'm going to call the Rich Brown exercise. I don't know if that's Rich's thing, but that's where I learned it. So, all right, guys, hope you enjoy that, and we'll see you in the next video.